Hi boys and girls, today's another e-learning day. Today we're going to have a little lesson over addition and subtraction, and when you hear a word problem, some of the words that would help you decide whether or not you should be adding, which is putting together, or if you should be subtracting, which is taking away. So we started off, I just put addition and subtraction up here. Your addition sign looks like this. Remember, it looks like a lowercase t. And then your subtraction sign is just a straight horizontal line. Now, when you hear a word problem and it says how many in all, or what is the sum, or 3 plus another number, or how many are there together? If you hear words like this, that's telling you that those numbers need to be added together. So those numbers need to be put together. So that would be like down here. If I said, I had 4 pink beads and 3 blue beads, how many beads do I have in all? Well, in all is up here, so I know I'm going to add, which means I'm going to take these two numbers and I'm going to put them together to get your answer. So if this means to put together, we have to put our plus or our addition sign in between the two numbers. So I have 4 pink, I got the number 4, and 3 blue, so I wrote the number 3. So right here in between them, we write our plus or our addition sign. Now if that means to put them together, we have to count how many there are in all. So if we count them, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 is going to go over here. There's another sign or symbol that we put after this in our number sentence to show that we are writing the total, and that's our equal sign. And your equal sign is just 2 lines, one above the other, and that shows us what the answer is going to be. So then when you read this sentence, because this is a number sentence, when you read it, it says 4 plus 3 equals 7. So, like I said, when you hear in all or sum, plus, together, you're going to use your addition sign, and then you're going to combine those numbers. Now, when you're listening to a word problem and you hear words like, she has this many less, or how many are left, or 7 minus another number, or what's the difference? If you hear any of those, that's telling you that you need to subtract. And to subtract means to take them away. So for example, if I said I had 8 red apples, so I originally had the 8 red apples, so I wrote the number 8. But I ate 3 of them. So if I'm eating it, am I going to put more on it, or does that mean that they're taken away? Right, if I eat them, they're being taken away, so I know that that is going to be a subtraction problem, and I need to use my minus sign. So I'm going to put my minus sign right here, and then the next step is, well, how many did I eat? I ate 3 of them, so I have to mark 3 apples off. So we took those away. There's the 3 that we took off to match the number of x's. Remember, we have to put our equal sign right before we put our answer. Now, to find the answer in a subtraction number sentence like this, you don't count all of them again because we took some away. You only count the ones that are left. So in this case, you're only going to count the ones that do not have x's. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to make my 5. And then when I read that number sentence, can you see that number sentence? Maybe. So when I read that, it says 8 minus 3 equals 5. So we're going to do one together where we write the numbers and the symbols and everything all together, and then I'm going to read to you 2 word problems, and I want you to write them in your e-learning journal and use the correct signs so that you know if it is an addition word problem or if it's a subtraction word problem. In my class, a lot of the times when we are drawing pictures to solve our word problems, we just use circles because it's a little bit faster and something a little bit easier that everybody can write or draw. So if I said that I had 5 So I have 5 pink circles, and let's say my friend also has some pink circles. Let's say my friend has 3. She might have 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, I want to know how many circles do we have in all? I want to know what the sum is. Well, we know that in all and sum are addition problems, so I'm going to do what? I'm going to add. So when I do the addition problem, I have to make sure that first I write my numbers down. So first I had 5 pink circles, and I know that I'm adding, so I'm going to put my addition sign. And my friend, she had 3, so I got to make sure I put that 3. And then remember, right before you write your answer, you have to have that equal sign so we know what the total is. So 5 plus 3 equals, well, if we're adding, you count how many there are all together. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 is my total. So when we read that number sentence together, it says 5 plus 3 equals 8. The 5 represents how many pink circles I had. The 3 represents how many pink circles my friend had. And the 8 represents how many pink circles we had when we combine them together. All right, so here's the next one. There were, let's do 9 green leaves on the ground. So there's 9 green leaves. So first, I'm going to start by making those 9 circles to stand that represent those leaves. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I know I have the 9 green leaves. So the first thing I need to do is write down that number. So I'm going to write the 9. That represents the leaves. So there were 9 green leaves on the ground, and 5 of them blew away. How many are left? Well, we know that when we say left, that means that we're going to take away. That's going to be a subtraction problem. So now, to show that in our picture, we have to X out that many. So if we said that 5 of them blew away, we have to mark out 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we said that we knew, because we said how many are left, that it's a subtraction problem, so you have to put your minus sign. Now the next step is to see how many we X'd out. Now remember, we put X's on 5 of them because 5 blew away. So I write the number 5, and then you put your equal sign right before the answer. So far our number sentence says 9 minus 5 equals. Now remember, when we do a subtraction problem, we're not going to count all of these together again. We're only counting the ones that do not have X's on them. So we're trying to find how many are left. So if we count those, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I write my number 4. So then when we read our number sentence, it says 9 minus 5 equals 4. Also could say 9 take away 5 equals 4. So in your e-learning journals, the first problem I want you to solve is Mrs. McGowan had 3 blue owls and Mrs. Bourne had 7 blue owls. How many blue owls does Mrs. McGowan and Mrs. Bourne have in all? So you're going to write that one in your e-learning journal. I will say it one more time. Mrs. McGowan has 3 blue owls and Mrs. Bourne has 7 blue owls. How many blue owls do they have together? Now in your e-learning journal, I want you to do the picture and the number sentence just like I did up here. And then your last problem I want you to do in there is Mrs. Ray had 9 bananas. Mrs. Sullivan ate 3 of them. How many bananas are left? Remember to listen for those key words. Mrs. Ray had 9 yellow bananas and Mrs. Sullivan ate 3 of them. How many are left? Remember to do the same thing so you have your picture and your number sentence or the equation written in your e-learning journal so that we can go over these when we come back to school. So I hope that you enjoyed your little mini lesson and we will see you guys when we return to school.